Welcome back to RealPage Economy Express. There's been no shortage of headlines lately: cooling inflation, shifting housing numbers, and growing uncertainty around tariffs. So let's dig into what's really going on. First up, inflation. The consumer prices actually dipped 10 basis points in March, thanks largely to a 6.3% drop in gas prices. Over the past year, prices rose 2.4% overall. That's down from 2.8% back in February. But it wasn't all down. Food prices climbed 0.4% month over month, with eggs jumping nearly 6%. Meanwhile, core inflation, which strips out food and energy, rose just 10 basis points in March and 2.8% over the year, the smallest gain we have seen since 2021. Now, producer prices followed a similar pattern. The PPI dropped 0.4% in March, with a big chunk of that tied to lower energy costs. Gasoline alone fell 11%. Still, we saw some increases. Steel mill products were up over 7%, and residential electric power costs climbed too. Overall, wholesale prices are up 2.7% over the past year. But even with inflation easing a bit, consumers aren't feeling great. The University of Michigan's sentiment index fell to 50.8 in April, down 11% from March and the second lowest reading on record. What's behind the dip? Well, people are getting more anxious about inflation, trade policies, and jobs. In fact, the share of folks expecting higher unemployment is now more than double what it was last fall. That brings us to the Fed. Chair Jerome Powell recently said the Fed's staying on pause for now, waiting for more clarity. He also noted a tricky situation here. Tariffs may push prices higher while slowing the job market, making it harder to hit the Fed's dual mandate of stable prices and full employment. In housing, we saw a mixed bag. Building permits were up slightly in March, but starts fell by more than 11%. Completions edged down 2%, but were still almost 4% higher than a year ago. So construction is holding up, but momentum is fading. On the mortgage front, applications dropped almost 13% in mid-April as rates climbed to 6.9%. Refi activity fell 20%, while purchase applications were down 7% from the week before, but still up slightly year over year. And finally, the Conference Board's leading index dropped 70 basis points in March, signaling slower growth ahead. And the Fed's Beige Book echoed the mood. Economic fundamentals are okay, but business sentiment is clearly turning more cautious. So to sum it all up, inflation is softening but still sticky, housing is cooling but not crashing, and economic sentiment is the big question mark heading into the summer. That's it for now. We'll keep watching, and as always, we'll break it down for you right here on RealPage Economy Express. See you next time.